Okay, another video and another pair of kicks. So if you've been paying any attention to drops over the last, I don't know, 6 months, you'll know exactly what this box is. You can see it's the Jordan 1 box, and because it comes in this like Wu-Tang yellow, you'll know what the pair is. I'll just bring it up here and hopefully get some focus. Air Jordan 1 High OG Taxi Black Sail. The whole focusing thing reminds me of the Dave Chappelle meme. Got more pixels. And just as I said that, it's gone out of focus again. There we go. Okay, so a lot of lollygagging. Gonna get into the box. So just to say off the rip with this pair, there is nothing extra inside. It is about as bog standard as a Jordan 1 gets, just in terms of like additions. And what I mean by that is, outside of the special edition box I already touched on, there is no spare lace. They have no spare laces, and there's like, I guess there's nothing else in the box, which is probably actually come to be expected. Really quick kind of like thoughts and overview of this colorway. There was a pair a few years ago, sorry, that came out that was like, they had a Shine Down, which I think is a band. They had their logo here, and those guys run thousands and thousands on StockX. Really expensive. And these were like, they were supposed to come out and then they didn't, and then we're like waiting for them for years and years, and then a few fake pairs got onto the market. So yeah, that's just kind of like a bit of a rundown on the yellow toe, or the Taxi as it's now become known as. So I'm just going to ping up here just real quick. Firstly, picture of a New York taxi cab, so you can see what that inspiration comes from, and like, I hope it makes sense, because I think at a certain point we just kind of all get used to the fact that Nike is going to come out with some kind of weird word to describe their product, and we then just adopt it. But that having that image there is a good reference. Then I'm also going to ping up here now a picture of the Pollens, which came out maybe about 6 months ago, maybe more, maybe near a year. I can't actually remember. Shouldn't quote things I can't remember. But yeah, those Pollens, kind of similar-ish, but with that reverse bread block that I ever so famously, or not famously, because who am I? But to anyone I ever talk to, just don't like. I don't have it. I want to say I have 22 pairs of ones now. This is the 22nd pair that I've got. I can actually do a review video, maybe all of my ones at some point. That'll take a while. But I don't have a single pair in that block. So yeah, they're the two things I initially wanted to compare to, which I don't have. Obviously I don't own a New York taxi cab, and making a comparison in a video with anything other than a picture would be bonkers. But yeah, here's the shoe. Let me actually just go through the details. So I'll work from the front round and then do the bottom. So the typical black nylon tongue with the taxi cab yellow Nike Air branding, yellow toe, which is why we call them that. Then you have that sail side panel blocking. So that's like black, where you would see, where you would kind of see it on the like a contrast color on the Chicago, and then you also have the matching black swoosh here, that famous sail side panel, which started off the shattered backboards, and all of the hype with that, and then the colored in rear heel, which is again, like, imagine all of this in orange for the shattered backboards. You won't have to in a sec, because I will compare them. And then a completely taxi outsole. The inside of the shoe exactly the same. The insole is also taxi, and then only comes with black laces, and they are in. There was also some weirdness on the internet about them coming with some white laces and some yellow laces. That is not the case. I want to say the Pollens did, but these don't. So here's a really quick run through of the shoe. Actually, one thing that you're probably wondering is about the leather quality. It's decent, but I would say it's basically just like a normal good Jordan 1. And when I say good Jordan 1, so like not these like kind of wacky things they do, like the Fly Comfort something or other. They've had some really dreadful colorways over the last few years, which I think is part of why Jordan ones have kind of fallen from grace a little. But like a typical, I'm about to show you 3 other shoes, and 2 of them have exactly the same quality leather. So the first one doesn't, and the first one is basically this shoe's like cousin, and the shoe that everyone kind of compared them to. And there are a few videos saying that the colorway was like almost identical. I think from this you can see clearly they're not. This is very much a yellow. Yes, it's an orangey yellow, but that is orange. Like this is Starfish and Taxi. Why they call it Starfish, I don't know. As we saw earlier, Taxi is an obvious. The block is exactly the same. The difference is this, or at least we're led to believe, this is like complete genuine leather. Here, down the back here, anyone who's ever touched or owned a pair of Shatter backboards knows that the leather is like not like no other pair. And then you have the shattered board on the insole as well. The only other pair of ones I've touched that came close, they're not as good as this, but they were like super plush. But I think they were the plush, synthetic plush was the not for resale. But the colorway on that shoe is so bad that the quality to me is irrelevant. And then we have, this is one of my absolute favorite recent years, they come out in 2018, the Pine Green. Let me actually, before I put that down, plonk that down, we'll get that in a slightly better light. Again, same thing, but this time instead of a white. So I think that's the main difference. The Taxi and the Shatter backboards have the white panel here with the accent color in the Nike Air, and then these and the other pair you're going to see have that switched around. But other than that, it's a tiny little change from this. You can clearly see like just how similar they are. And then the other pair I'm going to show came out on the same day as the Pine Greens. Really do need to change the laces back to cotton. I'm not feeling these leather ones. I still don't mind leather laces, but this specific pair of leather laces I'm just not feeling at all. So I will put the cottons back in. So this is the Court Purple. Probably my least favorite of the pairs I'm showing you, mainly because the Court Purple and that black are so similar. I kind of really preferred that they used Iris Purple, which just pops a lot more, and against black as well, more of a contrast. Because you can see here with the lighting, like until I do that, you know, it's not even super clear what the color is. You can see from the thing, like obviously they're all heavily worn. I wear everything, but yeah, covered in glitter, but in very good condition for the most part. But yeah, they're kind of the pairs I'm kind of contrasting to. And if I was to put all of these in order of preference, I am going with the Purps being, in my opinion, the weakest. I would actually say, even though there's a pair I'm reviewing, I would put the Taxi as the second weakest. And that doesn't mean I don't like them. I still think they're an awesome pair. I just think the other two are even better. And then I would say third best, that green. And then anyone who knows me knows that I think this is the best. But I mean, even having said that, that doesn't mean I dislike any of them. I still think the Court Purple is an amazing shoe. So like it's a scale of really like to love, which kind of tells you a lot about this block. Really going to quickly in the middle pop up an image of the Bread Toe, the only shoe I've ever sold that I regretted selling. And basically I just like, I don't know what was wrong with me that month. I hit on retail, sold them for, I don't know, I can't even remember what it was. It wasn't much if it was over retail. And I kind of regretted it ever since. It was stupid, and they're now $800. So yeah, that's a review. Lovely shoe. Cannot wait to rock these. I think these, I'm going to do a review soon on a new pair of fog shorts, and a pair of, and a few t-shirts, and I have some fits in mind for these with those two specifics. So yeah, that's it from me. Over and out.